In the last episode, we were talking about growing up with our Asian parents and being negative on us, and then we kind of feel miserable as we were growing up. This right now, we're actually talking about how do you actually enjoy life, love yourself. One thing is to, not feel negative anymore. But what I want for people in life is like that feeling of, I love myself, I love life. And I think that's the ultimate goal in life. It's not just money success, right? So let's talk about that.
Okay, so what does it mean to you ladies to live life the fullest, or living life to you? What does that mean?
I guess for me, it means that I get to do what I want, when I want, with whom I want, wherever I want. So if I want to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, I can. If I feel like, you know what, today I want to sleep until 10, I can. And it's just a matter of choice, right? So for me, it's all the choices in the world at my fingertips and to do it whenever I feel like. That's to me.
For me, it's like, first I have to love myself. I remember back then when I didn't like being alone. Like I needed a guy, I needed something. And I think I have to start loving myself and fully go, I am so grateful I have this face, or I have these arms, I have these legs. You know, like
you need a flower.
Just feeling like I love myself. And that was so important, because once you love yourself, then it's easy to kind of love life in general. But my fulfilled life is, like you said, being able to do what I want, spend time with people I want, and be able to give to people. And that's why I love business, is being able to have that opportunity to give back and to not just live your life and enjoy life on your own, but you can actually bring more people along with you.
Yeah, I totally agree with both of you. I think I'd like to add for myself, it's also about having the feeling. It's having the choice, the freedom of choice to choose what you want to do with whom more, but also the feeling that you get out of it, the satisfaction, being able to help someone, and just feeling really happy, and yes, gratitude, having family, because sometimes I think we take things for granted and we don't realize it until we just kind of sit in the moment and just be now. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's really just enjoying the moment that we have now and really appreciating that first, and really just loving you, appreciating who you are.
And I bet people are going, of course you're going to love yourself and love your life, because your life is good. But I guess they're probably wondering, how do you love your life or love yourself when what you see around you, maybe you feel like you're fat, you're ugly, you're whatever, and you just feel like there's nothing to love? Like, how would you... what can you share about that?
I guess sometimes when people go through certain struggles, it's really difficult to try and think in a situation where you can love yourself. Or, when we talk about gratitude, for example. So a part of being self-love, gratitude, I believe, is a part of that journey. And I remember my life, I can't talk about you ladies, but my life was never so perfect, and I had to work along the way. And I remember at one point when everything around my life was falling apart, whether it's relationship, financial, everything was like at its lowest. And I sat there and I remember thinking, yeah, right, because I heard someone says, just think happy thoughts and be happy. I'm thinking, oh my God, F you. I didn't even say that. It's like imagine if you're in my shoes right now, think happy, be happy, do it. And I remember, yes, we do get to that point where we are a little bit like that, but just little small steps, because you can do it. You can. It's hard. Sometimes it's more than just the visual or whatever, but sometimes some people have so much going on, either family members or people being unwell or financially in such a crippling stage, divorced women, divorced men, whatever. We have that dark moment. It's really, so Jackie, how do you're a life coach, so how do you usually get people out of that sort of dark space? Because it was a struggle for me, but I got out.
Okay, so for me, the first thing, and this is also going for experience, just because I'm a mindset coach, a life coach, we go through emotions. It's a normal thing for you to go through emotions, negative or positive, and having negative emotions isn't actually a bad thing. It's how you manage it. So the first thing for me is just acknowledge your feelings. Acknowledge that you're feeling a certain way, because that's the first step to change. So for me is acknowledging what you have and what is it really is the cause of this? Why am I feeling this way? And then what is it that I want to feel?
And you can choose that feeling. And you know what? The biggest thing that helped me to change my perspective was the gratitude thing. Because I remember going through crap in life and just going, there's nothing to be grateful for. But when I started to look deeply, I'm like, oh my God, I'm lucky to be alive. I'm lucky I have arms and legs. And so the number one tip for me, I always do is I look at people who are worse off than me. So I'm always so grateful when I look back in the past and I'm like, oh my God, back then I was even worse, back then it's just like, there's always worse situations than you have right now. And the fact that, to be honest, nothing beats being alive. There are some people that are just dying in the bed and you still can move around. That means you still have a chance to change your life. And so I think that's how I was able to learn to appreciate things more. And when you appreciate, you're in a better state, then you can actually look for opportunities and look for things.
Yeah, I think for me, the other thing is progress. when you do your gratitude, even if it's like the small thing like Lynn said, I'm so grateful to be alive. And sometimes I remember being a single mom and having 2 young kids, and I used to think, oh my God, this is such a huge responsibility. It's just overwhelming. Instead of looking at your children and feeling like, oh my God, I've got all these responsibilities, I learned to look at my children, oh my goodness, I've got these blessings. So it's just a matter of perspective. And it was actually from that point in my life that I realized that anything's possible. It's just a matter of perspective.
Yeah. The other thing about how can you live your life and love life more, you don't need all the money in the world. I remember back when I was a single mum, I still prioritized my happiness. Like what I mean is I still wanted to go clubbing. I still wanted to do this, do that. And I did it. And so I took on that same approach growing up the whole way, till this point. I'm still having alone time traveling or some time with my husband and leave my kids at home, and just being able to always prioritize myself. And I know a lot of women, we feel guilty once we wear a mum hat, we just go, I can't have my alone time. But it will eat you. It will eat you up. And you don't have to be the richest person. You don't have to have all the time in the world, but you can always make little times for yourself and for the people that's important to you, or do the things you love in little ways. And then later on, when you have more time, more money, you can do more. When people always say money only reveals who that person is, it's true. It's like, if you have $10 and you can give away $1, that means when you have 100, you can give 10. But if you can't even give a little bit while you at this moment, then you're not that type of person to give things away in general, right? So sometimes people think, only when I get there will I do this.
Or will I feel this, or will I get this. But in actual fact, you can have it now, right? And it's just the little things.
Yeah, everything you can have now. See, what I find it was interesting about what Lynn just said right now is the fact that you go through this journey and you dig deep, you express gratitude. But how many of you out there at the moment is struggling and cannot get past that step 1? Which is to be able to have a different perspective on things, even to say, you know what, I am grateful to be alive, or I am grateful that I have my freedom. Also, the other thing I want to know is how many women out there actually have the courage, like Lynn, that can compartmentalize your different categories, where Lynn's got Lynn time. So even though Lynn becomes a mother, Lynn becomes a housewife, a businesswoman, but she never lost the essence of Lynn. She has never swapped that in. But until my kids got like past 25, that I was able to do that. Because I wonder how many women out there kind of go, you're right when you talk about guilt, because when you are in that space of being a mother, once you're a mother, you can't go back and not being a mother. So you're always thinking like a mother. So how many women out there until 50, 60, 70, 80 still think that you are just a mother?
Yeah. Well, yes, stop. You just need to do things for yourself, be more selfish. But I reckon in the next episode, we should actually be talking about how to create more courage, how to have more courage to take action, to do things that you might feel like it's selfish or someone might judge you, but have the courage to do things anyway. Yeah, girls, we should talk about courage.
Yeah, courage.
Well, thank you so much for watching. If you love this topic, love to hear in the comments below if you have any questions or suggestions. But other than that, we'll see you next episode to talk about courage.